If he stays still, no, he's moved. He's moved, so I'm gonna.
It's been a year since I got my first large format camera. Let me take you on a journey of my first year of shooting large format photography. With some, it will be a lesson, others a chance to reminisce about those early days. 2 days before, I had seen a video that was titled, "Shoot What's in Front of You." And this moment was exactly what this video was about. I then headed over to a spot not far from where I grew up. I had planned to shoot this location with the long shadows caused by the sunset, which would give a 3D-like effect on the rocks when I shot in deep focus. The first lesson I learned from large format photography is even on a portable setup like this, 3D printed large format camera, it still takes time to set up. Too much time, in fact, to the point I had missed what I was going out to shoot exactly. Okay, so what I said before, that setting up the camera was the first lesson, that wasn't really true. That was the second lesson. The first lesson I really learned was the difficulty of loading 4x5 film. Now that is hard. It's a higher degree of difficulty compared to medium format or 35mm, and you won't do yourself any favors if your changing bag is small. I quickly realized that I was going to have to invest in a bigger changing bag. But as I would later find out, wandering around my country, I would also have to practice loading the film. It's not easy, and I really mean that, as it would have impact on my next few trips later on. Now, my first 2 black and white photos were far from perfect. Whilst the composition of the film was good, the horses were out of focus, and while the second photo was just a little bit overexposed, leading to a flat, dull image lacking depth. The good lighting had indeed gone as I had feared, but the composition lost anything that could have been interesting. I was all the way down at the bottom of the civilized world, where I was hoping to get more out of my camera, both by practice but also capturing shots of locations I'd photographed before, so I could do tests to see how much resolution 4x5 can really give me. Whilst I was more prepared than my previous outing, you can see here I'm coming back because I forgot something. The lesson here I learned is that with this camera, to use it, I really needed to be prepared and have it set ready to go, if I'm wanting to get the most out of it. Part of the reason why I bought this 4x5 camera was that I wanted a large format camera that I could shoot at a moment's notice, especially because I was planning to travel to China with this camera. I wouldn't say this is like a lesson where I shouldn't know such things, but I was testing out, not on purpose, the waterproofness of this 4x5 large format camera setup, and how quickly I could get a photo before possibly putting the film at risk. And yeah, the film held up well here. There doesn't seem to be any issue with water tightness, no water damage to the negatives that I can see. But it was pretty stressful, and I did make a mistake. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned from this is being very careful when removing the film cartridge out of the camera, because it's very easy to accidentally pull the Darkslide and then expose part of the film sheet, which is what I did, and I ended up losing a chunk of the image. Since then, I've tried to be a lot more careful when removing the film pack, taking my time and making sure either my hand or my finger is pushing against the Darkslide to stop it from moving. When I put the back in my bag, I don't trust the little locks, so additionally, I rubber band the backs to lock them in place. And so far, I have not repeated this mistake. A few days later, I was out again. The storm had passed and the water had receded. I wanted to spend unrushed time really getting to know how to shoot this camera, how to set it up so that I could shoot it at a moment's notice with large format photography. With large format photography, a medium that lends itself to measured and concise actions, you have to take your time to think about your compositions. I decided that this would be the location for me to take my next photograph. I saw the reflections upon the water, which was reasonably calm. I didn't have any of my ND filters on me, so I shot this in the style of Ansel Adams, deep focus as Spielberg would enjoy. I had bought a box of Fomapan 100. This was 25 sheets of black and white film. Now, Fomapan isn't known for having the best quality film, so these photos were in many ways lessons, throwaways. But more than that, they were a chance for me to get familiar with this camera, to really understand it and be prepared to shoot it. No matter your skill set as a photographer, whether you've been doing this for a decade or so like me, or just starting out, you are going to have to test your camera, learn how to see how it sees the world, and bring that point of view into how you perceive the world. Then you can go ahead and craft images. And if you are after a particular look, you need to figure out with the gear you have how you're going to achieve it. Once you understand your camera and you understand how it sees the world, and you are able to use that tool to show the world how you see the world, the next thing you will need to do is plan what you want to create. This mountain is the mountain of my tribe, my people, my iwi, my ancestors. And I did not properly plan and organize myself to take a photo of it. I was a little bit too rushed and learned the hard way of making sure my film backs were loaded correctly. I ended up putting two sheets on top of each other. So I ended up essentially taking two photos at the same time. And because I'd overexposed the photo, because I forgot the IR filter, here is one overexposed full spectrum black and white shot, and here is one less overexposed full spectrum black and white shot. Now, a few days beforehand, I had a vision, and I had 4x5 slide film, and I only had this one moment to get this shot, and surprisingly, I did. By this time in my journey with this camera, I understood its limitations. It is a very tight camera to shoot with, but the lightness of it and the ability to take high resolution photographs was worth it. These 3 photos that I took in Hong Kong are all color slides on Aero Color 4. This is normally a C41 color negative film stock, but it's really special compared to most color negative film because you can go ahead and develop it in slide chemistry and get slides. And honestly, looking at my slides in 4x5 fidelity has been incredibly rewarding. All of these lessons have been leading up to this one moment. I was back in China in my favourite city of Zhaoqing. I had picked up along the way a box of Ilford's FP4. In 2024, I had made black and white slides, and they were amazing to look at. I had shot the black and white slides in both 35, 645, 6x6, and even 6x9. Oh, and a few shots in 6x17. As much as I love 6x17 and its gorgeous panoramic look, I thought 4x5 might be a better aspect ratio for black and white slides. I felt by this point in my large format journey, I was ready to take some cool photos. And I was. I got really cool 4x5 images. And I got some really cool 4x5 images out of this black and white slide project, and I plan to turn these into something else in the future, which I for sure will make a video about. These 4x5 black and white images are really like nothing else I've shot before. These inspire me. I want to make more 4x5 black and white slides. I have some shots planned, and will hopefully show you in 2026. If you have made it this far, thank you for coming on this journey with me. If you haven't gotten into large format photography yet, and this video has inspired you to do so, go out there, buy a large format camera, whether it be an old school one that takes quite a bit of effort to run, or something a little bit more casual like this 3D printed large format camera. Just go out there, shoot the camera, enjoy, burn through some money, and you will get for it an experience that is like nothing else in photography. For those that reminisced, I hope the memories weren't bittersweet. As always, it's been real, guys.